Hello everybody, it's Final Rich here with my 52nd favorite US punk albums. But before I get started, I just watched a video by Chris the Vinyl Orchard, and he did a video, I think it was either 40 or 50 favorite English rock bands or rock albums. And I'm going to leave a link to that. And I'm going to leave a link to Midlife Crisis Rants. He just did his 50 favorite UK punk albums from the 70s. And I guess he's going to do an 80s. His UK punk is way more extensive than mine. Probably my US is more extensive than his, but maybe not, man. He has a lot of punk records. And he's the one, Midlife Crisis Rants is the one that got me started on this. And I have idea for 2 more, but let me know, man, because I do tend to go on too long once I get on a theme. But again, the US punk, we're going to start in 1975 again. Now, I had a comment on my UK one it was actually on my US one. And he said, you forgot these bands. And he listed 3 English bands. And he goes, this is where, England is where punk, started. And no, not really. It kind of, if you're going to pick one place, you'd have to pick New York City. I mean, there were bands all across the country and in the UK with their pub rock scene. But anyways, 1975, I'm going to go with the Dictators, Go Girl Crazy, their first album. Now, it came out in 75. It's before punk was titled punk. The same with Patti Smith, Horses. I definitely think that's a punk album. This one, it's got punk elements, but like the first song, The Next Big Thing, parts of it sound like Kiss, But then they could do a copy of I Got You, Babe, which I don't think Kiss would ever do, not the way these guys did it. And then the third one, Back to Africa, that's a pretty punky song. But yeah, I never bought this back in the day because I thought the cover was just totally ridiculous. But handsome dick. All right. No 76, but we got a few from 77, and we're going to start it off with Talking Heads 77. Now, back in 77 and 78 and that, I played this sometimes, but I didn't play it as much as like Elvis Costello or the Police second album or the Clash or the Sex Pistols. It's got some great quirky songs, but it's got some others that, I don't know, it's just kind of arty. Another one from 77, a great album, Marquee Moon by Television. Now this is an album that I didn't buy. This is a reissue. I bought maybe 5-6 years ago. I don't know. I didn't have it back in the day. I had heard the song Marquee Moon played by Rodney on the Rock. And that's a long song for Rodney to play. But yeah, this is a great album. It's extended songs, which is unusual for punk, but yeah. For 77, that is a great album. I'd love to get their second. And my last one from 77 is Richard Hell and the Voidoids, Blank Generation. This is a Record Store Day 2-record set. Again, this is one that I didn't have back in the day. And right here, you got Marky Mark, who became Marky Ramone. Mark Bell, actually. With his torn t-shirt, and he even has his scissors with him. This has some great songs, man. Like Blank Generation, Love Comes in Spurts, but it does have some wankers. Now, 78, we got Minneapolis represented with the Suicide Commandos and Make a Record. Now, this is an unlikely bunch of guys to make this list, but man, this is a great album. In fact, when you first put it on, it's like, you know, when you sometimes you put a record on, you know, sometimes they don't say if it's 45 or 33, and you put it on and, oh man, it's on the wrong speed. You know, this, I have it at 45 and it should be 33. That's how this sounds. It sounds like it's on the wrong speed at first because it's very fast. But yeah, very good, man. For 78, this is way, way good. Now, 1979. I'm going to show Dawn of the Dickies by the Dickies. They had their Incredible Shrinking Dickies, also from 79. I mean, it's 1A, 1B, but I thought I would show this one. Where did his eye go? 1980. It's the Soft Boys, and I think this is their second album. Going Underground Records had their debut album about a year or so ago, and I didn't get it. I got something else, and it bugged me and bugged me. I went back a couple of days, and it was gone. I'm like, man. And I did that recently with the Magazine's debut record. I went back a couple of days later, and it was gone. But anyways, this was VCLT sent to me by Hannah, the Omaha Introvert. I guess I had made a comment on one of her videos that I had never really heard a Robin Hitchcock, you know. And yeah, this is fantastic, man. Really catchy songs. Okay, we're up to 81 already. TSOL, Dance With Me. This is fantastic. I think I like this more now than I did back in 81. It just starts off with Sounds of Laughter. What an epic song, man. And it's got some of their older songs, Peace Through Power, that they re-recorded. They were on the Posh Boy recordings, but they re-recorded them. Just fantastic album, man. Another one from 81 is the Minutemen, The Punchline. Now, is this their debut album? I'm not really sure. I know I have some singles by them that's on New Alliance Records. I don't know if they released an album on New Alliance. This is on SST. Really fast, short, quirky songs. And this is my favorite by them. Another one from 81. We got LA's Wasted Youth. This is I thought that this was an okay record at the time, but I love it now, man. It's fantastic. I think it's 5 songs on each side, and it's pretty short. I mean, it has some great songs, and then it had some others that I thought were just okay. But yeah, I really love this album through and through. This is a Record Store Day release. I have the original, but it was a noisy press. I mean, brand new, it was noisy. And this guy here, Jeff Long, the bass player, he joined a band that released, this is 81. Jeff Long joined a band that released an album in 82, and this is Savage Republic. Completely different than LA's Wasted Youth. This is more, got tribal drums. In fact, when I saw them in concert, they had like a couple of 55-gallon barrels on stage, and I think it was the singer was banging on those. At the Anti-Club, I saw them. Fantastic album. This is their debut. Another one from 82 is Red Cross's first full-length album on Smoke 7 Records. This is a really sloppy punk rock. I mean, just, it's fantastic. It's got their famous song, Linda Blair, but it's got some other great ones. What is the Kill Someone You Hate? It's just fantastic. White Trash. There's another one I'm thinking about. But anyways, great album. I dig these guys. Their albums after this, I wouldn't really classify them as punk, though. This is their first and their punkiest. Another one from 82 is SSD Control. The Kids Will Have Their Say. This is an album that was just released. This was re-released, was it last year? And I would say this was my favorite re-release of last year. I know other people are going to pick Steely Dan and, the Doors HRQEOREIEIO version. But yeah, this is fantastic, dude. Really fast. An album that was hard to get. It's on Exclaim Records. This was a split with Exclaim and Trust Records. No, I think it was something else back in the day. Anyways, it might have been Touch and Go. Just a fantastic. I got to see these guys in the mid 80s, 84-ish maybe. And they put on a really good show. And one more from 82 is The Lude, American Wino. This is a band that was based out of San Francisco. The singer and the bass player, they were in a band in Seattle, Z something. And I think Tomato Duplanty was in that band with them, the guy that became the singer of the Screamers. But anyways, this is a great punk rock, hardcore, but punk rock. It's not crazy. Fantastic. And one more from 82 is the Zero Boys, Vicious Circle. These guys are from Indianapolis. And this is a reissue that came out in, I think, 87 or something like that. And it had some extra songs. Yeah, it had 3 extra songs on each side. The original had a yellow. But yeah, fantastic, man. And one more from 82 is RF7, Weight of the World. Now this is a band that from California, really good singing. It's one of those bands that there were so many bands from Southern California and the LA area. These guys kind of got lost in the mix, but fantastic, man. And one more from 82. I try my best to get these dates right. I might mess up. Is MDC. You got Millions of Dead Cops. This is a fantastic album. Some of the songs, the lyrics are over the top as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it's really good, man. It starts out with Business on Parade, and it doesn't let up really all the way through. Now we're into 83. And we got Sonic Youth, Confusion is Sex. This is their first full length, I believe. Really noisy punk rock. From New York. Fantastic album, man. I really dig this. I like their earlier stuff better than their 90s. I remember I bought Goo when it came out on CD. And it's got good songs, but they're a little more popular, and to me, they don't really have the vocals to pull it off. And that's something I thought about Husker Du at the time, but I'm kind of revisiting some of the later Husker Du albums, and I might have to rethink that logic. Another one from 83 is Aggression, Don't Be Mistaken. Now there's a guy on a skateboard on the cover. I think this is a band from, might be San Diego. I know it's Southern California. It doesn't really say. And people lump this in with skate rock. And for me, that's a name that, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense to me. What is skate rock? I think that describes the people that listen to it more than the actual band. Kind of like mod, People like, oh, that's mod rock. That describes the people that listen to it more than it does the actual music, in my opinion. But this is great. Another one from 83 that probably should have been included in my first. A couple of these should have, really. And this is a Crucifix, Dehumanization. It's got that crass look, and it folds out into a poster. Just fantastic. Great vocals, this guy, man. Now we're into 84, and this is a recent reissue, Tales of Terror. This is an album that I remember seeing at Middle Earth Records in Downey, California, and I never picked it up. And man, do I regret that. This is fantastic. Now they had to, I think they used a clean version of the record to actually press this, because the original tapes were destroyed by one of the members of the band. I guess he was mad, and I don't know, but this is fantastic. I highly recommend this, and this should have been in the first 50. Another great album is the Vandals. Now, the first two records by the Vandals I rate very high. After that, I haven't really heard any of them because the singer Steve-O left the band, and I think it was the drummer or bass player took over vocals, and I don't know. I haven't really heard those, so they might be great. But this is fantastic. It starts out with Lady Killer, and it's got the scratching on it. And I remember them doing that live, and Steve-O had this like turntable around his neck, and it was funny. And it Mohawk Town is on here, and then my favorite, Viking Suit. I love men in Viking suits. Another one from 84 is Bad Religion. How Could Hell Be Any Worse? This is my favorite Bad Religion album. It's their debut. Their second album was pretty weird. It was more new wavy, and I didn't really explore any of their others. I guess Suffer is a good album too, but they evolved into a sound that became very popular in the late 80s and the 90s, and I'm not really a big fan of that. But yeah, this is great, man. We're Only Gonna Die, Fuck Armageddon, This Is Hell, White Trash, Second Generation. This has just got great songs. And a recent purchase by me is the Crucifix. This is fantastic, man. The singer kind of threw me for a curveball. He's kind of like in the Jello Biafra vein of singing. Very cool though, man. And you see videos of these guys performing live, and they look like regular dudes, you know. And I don't know if they're from Wisconsin or what. I don't know. I think they're from the Midwest or whatever you call that part of the country. And I know their second album is called Wisconsin. Another album from 84 is 7 Seconds, The Crew. Very fast. This is very fast. Kevin Second's vocal style really influenced hardcore music after this, where the singer just sings really just blistering fast. And there's really no spacing between lines of the songs. It's just like a machine gun, you know. And the last one from 84 is Husker Du, Zen Arcade. Now I like their earlier stuff, but I'm gonna go with this one, man. It's a little sprawling. I mean, it's a double album, but it's got some really great songs on it. And I'll be honest, I have not listened to any Husker Du after this. I haven't heard any of the albums. I have some of their singles. I bought some 7-inches of songs that I like, but I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. Now we're on to 85, and we got RKL, Keep Laughing, Rich Kids on LSD. Fantastic record from a band on Mystic Records from Santa Barbara. It seemed like a lot of the bands, or Mystic Records signed a lot of bands from Ventura County, Oxnard, and these ones are Santa Barbara's just a bit north of that. But yeah, fantastic album, man. Another one from '85 is DRI, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles. And this is Dealing With It. This is fantastic. Bunch of songs. I think like 11 songs on both sides. When this first came out, I liked some of the songs. Other ones to me were just kind of throwaways. But I dig it now, man. Way more than I used to. I think Nursing Home Blues is still my favorite from the album. But yeah, this is, I mean, it starts out with Snap. It's just fantastic. Another one from '85 is PTL Club. Hardcore, is it? Yeah, Hardcore. 13 Commandments. Now, this is another record that was band that's on Mystic Records. And I just assumed they were a LA, California, band. And they have that sound, but they're actually from Boston. And I think this is fantastic, man. And this dude here has got a beard. And there's a picture of him with his full beard and no shirt, his little hairy chest. The Vinyl Geek would really like that, man. Now we're up to '86. And we got Dr. No. This Island Earth. Just a fantastic album. This is a band, one of those bands that should have blew up, man. I mean, at the time, I thought live, I thought they were better than Metallica or any of the big four. I kind of lump them in with the English Dogs. Just fantastic. Now, this has Plug-in Jesus on the first song. It's got some keyboards, and that kind of brings the record down a bit, and that's why it wasn't included in the first 50. But the second song is Plug-in Jesus, and that's a re-recording. I don't have their Mystic Records album, Plug-in Jesus, and if I did, I would probably be showing that one. Yeah, this is fantastic, man. Then Burn. Just great lyrics on this. One more from '86 is Capital Punishment, Slum with a View. Now, this is a band with a very original vocals. I don't know. I think they're either from Fresno or from Sacramento. One of the cities, a few hours north of Bakersfield. But yeah, this is really original, really good. But the singer, man, he's very unique. And speaking of unique singers, another one from '86 is Youth of Today, Break Down the Walls. Now, the singer, he's kind of annoying, but I dig it. I could see how somebody would say, "Nah, I don't like these guys," I would understand, because he does this, I can't even do it. Very, Zen-like band, but the music isn't Zen-like at all. It's very, look at them guys, man. But I think this dude became Hare Krishnas or something, Another one from '86 is The Accused. The Return of Martha Splatterhead. Now, this is a band on, I think they're from Seattle. I hope they're from Seattle, man. They could be Vancouver, man. I could be screwing up my whole list. But anyways, I think they're from Seattle. Some people lump these, now they, looking back, they lump these in with the, thrash metal. But I saw these guys live, and they were touring with GBH. I saw them with GBH at the Santa Monica Civic. They weren't playing metal shows, and metal kids weren't flocking to go see The Accused. One more from '86 is Rhino 39, another LA band. Another one that kind of gets lost in the mix of things because there were so many bands from Southern California. But this is a great album, man. And you can find this one cheap. Some of these albums are maybe kind of hard to find. You can get reissues. But some of these, the originals, are not very expensive. And this is one, and I highly recommend it. One that I've never seen anybody else show is Hags. And what's the name of this thing? It's Record 1 or 1986 Project. So yeah, it's from 86. And this is a fantastic album. Very unique punk rock band. Very unique, man. It starts out with Jackal. It's just fantastic, man. Angel of Death. I went to a show in Fenders. Me and my friend Tom and my girlfriend Michelle. I think Michelle went to that show. No, Michelle went to the 45 Grave. Anyways, oh yeah, this was the 45 Grave. It was the Hags opened up. Then you had what was that? God, with Gabby Godhead in it. Haunted Garage. Then you had L7 and then 45 Grave. I mean, what a gig, you know. Now we're at 1987. And a band that used to have lots of fun on stage is Doggy Style. This is Doggy Style 2 on Flipside Records. Anything on Flipside I will pick up nowadays. I wish I would have picked them up back then. But this is fantastic. These guys, they're kind of lighthearted, you know. They're just having a good old time, you know. You know, having sex with 976. Soda Jerk, and what differentiates these guys with a lot of the bands is they had two singers, and I mean some songs the one guy would sing most of it, but other songs they would trade off lines in the same song. It was very, very cool. 88, we got another VCLT, Hit It or Quit It. This was VCLT sent to me from Blockhead up there in Portland, Oregon. This is fantastic, man. It's kind of verges on Cramps style of punk. But there are songs with guitar solos. I mean, normal guitar solos. Not like the Brian Gregory type stuff. But yeah, this is fantastic, man. They do a version of White Lightning. The George Jones song. But yeah. Blockhead, he kept telling me, oh, you got to check that album out. Because he knew I had like four or so of their 7 inches. Because I showed him on a video once. And finally, he just asked for my address and sent it my way. Another one from 88 is Route 666 by the Reverb Motherfuckers. This is their first album, and this is a limited edition. It's a numbered. I got 179. I don't know if this was ever really released back in 88. I don't know. But yeah, this is fantastic. This is kind of in the Butthole Surfers camp of things. But not quite as off the cliff crazy. You know how Butthole Surfers, they had some songs that were kind of normal sounding, but kind of weird. That's what these guys are. And one more from 88. Now, I got 3 records from 88, and all 3 are completely different. This is a Detox album. And this might be their second album, I think. It's a hardcore, it's a punk band, but their songs are mid-tempo, kind of slower. And in fact, side 2 is just one song. It's just like one long song, and it really works. You know, you wouldn't think it would, but yeah, this is fantastic. Now we're into the 90s, and we got the Humpers. I California, LA, maybe Orange County. My Machine. This was a band that, I mean, this was a blind buy. I just bought it. I've heard people mention these guys, but back in the day, I don't remember these guys playing that much. But by 90, I wasn't really going to shows too much. But yeah, this is fantastic. This is more like in the Heartbreakers kind of vein of things. Fantastic. Now we're in 91. And we got G.G. Allin with Anti-Scene. There's several G.G. Allins that I could have shown, but I decided this is my favorite. And this album has like spoken word stuff in between each song. And the first time you hear it, it's okay. But after a while, okay, I could do without that. But yeah, this has got some great albums, man. I mean, great songs. Violence Now. Murder is the Mission. Just a fantastic album. But like I said, You Can't Tame Me, one he did with the Scumfucks. The Scumfucks, a really good band he was in after the Jabbers. I could have picked them, but I'm going with this one. Now we got 92. And this was an album I was going to include in my first video, but I couldn't find the darn thing. It was in the other room. And it's the New Bomb Turks, Destroy Oh Boy. Now this is a new band for me. I had somebody that was watching my videos and he would mention these guys all the time. And I believe Martin Jones sent this to me. I know somebody did. But yeah, this is great, dude. Really good. 94. Got a couple from 94. And they're big ones. We got Offspring with Smash. I believe it's their third album. I saw these guys. I've heard their second album and I like it a lot. I don't know. I haven't heard their first one. I would love to get those first two. In fact, Middle Earth Record has a demo album, like a bootleg from one of the earlier albums, and I'm tempted to get it. But yeah, this blew up, man. Come Out and Play, Self-Esteem. Just, this band blew up with this album. And I saw them around the time that this came out, and they were absolutely fantastic live. And what's the guitar player, Noodles? When I saw the Dickies almost 2 years ago now, Noodles came out and played with them. Fantastic guitar player, dude. It was, what a great show that was too. And I videoed. You can look up Vinyl Richie, the Dickies, and you'll see some footage from that. And one more from 94 that blew up was Green Day, Dookie. Another fantastic album, man. I don't have their first two. This is their third album, and like Offspring, the third album, they blew up, man. The time was right for punk became mainstream, you know. Probably because of Nirvana blowing up, and I mean, they were even playing Butthole Surfers on the radio in the 90s. But yeah, this is a great album, man. It's got some really good songs. I like the singer, but I always dug the drummer of this band. I always thought he was a great drummer and kind of underrated. Like a lot of bands, the bass player is kind of nerdy, you know, same with Nirvana. But yeah, this is a good album, man. And their show they did at that Woodstock with all the mud, it was pretty fun. 96. I believe this is their first album. And it's Os Rotten. The System Works for Them. Yeah. This is one of those anarcho-punk bands, and this folds out into a little poster-like thing. Like a lot of anarcho bands. I don't agree with a lot of the lyrics. In fact, the first song, it's kind of a long song. It's like either 4 or 5 minutes long, and it's got a lot of spoken word stuff. And they're singing about you can't have change without violence, and I don't know. For me, it's easy to tear things down. It's easier to tear things down than it is to build things up. But that said, man, these guys sound fantastic. I have 3 of their albums. I think this came out, what, in 88? I have one that came out in 89, and I think I have one that came out in 90. Oh, no, this came out in 98. 96. Now we got the 2000s. And this came out in 2000. Fantastic album. This was a blind buy. Somebody recently told me that you should do a video on blind buys. And this was a blind buy. I didn't know who these guys were. I thought the cover, it just, I don't know, it was kind of something off on it, you know? And these guys are from Fargo, North Carolina, or North Dakota, of all things. If you've seen the movie Fargo, I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere, you know, pretty much. But fantastic, dude. These guys are a really good mixture of traditional punk and hardcore mixed together. And I highly recommend these guys. As I do this next one, this one came out in 2014, and this is The Disconnects, Wake Up Dead. Now, this album's kind of hard to find in the U.S. I ended up ordering this on Discogs from a seller in Japan, of all things. And what's weird about that, I mean, it's the only time I've ever ordered a record from Japan, and I was kind of leery. It came rather quickly. And the shipping from Japan is cheaper than the shipping from Canada, which makes no sense at all. But yeah, this is fantastic. This is Ryan Kidd's band. And this is like his Sgt. Pepper. And this is hard to find. I mean, if you look on Discogs, there's probably 3. And one's going to be in the Netherlands, one's in Germany, or, you know, something like that. But you can get his new album still. It won't be available for that long, but I would recommend getting Ryan Kidd's new album. Okay, 2017, we got a favorite band of mine that's, I believe, still going around. ISS. I always call them ISIS, but I don't know. These guys are fantastic. And this is Endless Pussyfootin'. It's kind of a homage to the Eno Fripp album, and they did a really good cover of replacing themselves in the album jacket. You know, it's pretty amazing. But this is fantastic. Their album that came out after this, I love too, but I kind of have to go with this one, and it's just 2 guys. One of the guys is playing They take drum samples, and I think a lot of the drum samples are from punk rock records. And it's just fantastic, man. (2018), another new band. I've only seen this one album by them, and it's No Love, Choke on It, on Sorry State Records from North Carolina. Are they Charlotte, North Carolina? Or I think the Sorry State Records, I think, is in walking distance from Michael Pilmer. If you don't know him, check his channel out. Very nice guy. But yeah, this is fantastic. The guitars on this, what a great guitar player in this band. Just a really tight band. And the female singer, man, she is fantastic. Speaking of females, 2019, we got the Paranoids, Carnage Bargain. And I think it's 3 females and a male drummer. This is more on the it's not as edgy. It's more like the Vinyl Douche kind of music, kind of quirky, like, you know, happy. I don't know about happy, but side one of this is fantastic. It's so darn near perfect. Really catchy songs, and just a fantastic album. And one more from 2019, a little harder hitting, is Restraining Order. And boy, look at that cover, man. Guy jumping up in the air with a microphone in hand. These guys can raise a ruckus. That's probably the best way to describe them. Just one song goes straight into the other, and before you know it, they're on the fourth song. You didn't even realize it. You know, it's fantastic. And last but not least, from 2023, we got the Stools and Are You Saved? Fantastic band from Detroit. More really crazy over the top vocalist. And I think two of them sing. But one of the guys, man, his singing is so great. Their music's kind of based in the blues. I mean, it's not blues rock, but you can hear that that groove in there. And just a fantastic album, fantastic band, the Stools. They're still around. I don't think they tour much because I think they're all working stiffs. You know, they play maybe the Michigan area, but that's it, man. 50 more great U.S. punk albums. Take care, everybody. Go Fever!